Alright, let's review some of Schamtoo's videos. See how these games are playing out.
God bless water.
Let me just skip ahead to a game.
Do that with like spinach, I think, right? Like I think spinach would be a good substitute.
Okay, so this is Longinus. It looks like we're having...
Put on a meal if I wanted it to be like healthy, especially with nachos.
Is this a 12 gas? I think it is a 12 gas. Okay, so that's fine. Nice racks positioning. He's trying to pylon block it. So annoying.
Wait, how did I fuck this up? How did I fuck this up so bad?
And we built the depot way too early. We cut SCVs. So since we're building Marines, it looks like we're probably going to be doing a push. I don't like pushes. And I don't like it on this map especially because Longinus, since forever, has been Protoss favored. Now with modern play, I actually think that probably Terran is very strong on here. But what Protoss is used to do is they used to 2-gate.
What?
And do Mascoon. Well, this build is pretty LOL bad. So what I'm hoping to see here now is that first he takes an expansion and then he goes straight into mines. Because it's unfortunate that he sent his SCV in to the Nexus and it died. It would be nice to see how many gates this guy was building. Oh god. But anyways, he should definitely get mines down and just lay him outside his base. That way we have vision and Protoss is forced to go robotics. Like we don't want to put it so close that Protoss sees it immediately with his cannon. We want him to build some units and then just donk them off into mines. Please don't go tanks.
And a fucking Nexus.
No, don't go tanks. Go vultures. Get mines. Build like 4 of them. Sometimes what these Protosses will do is they'll like build constantly out of 2 gates and then just send it to your base for whatever reason. And then they throw all their units away. And then they build a robotics. And then by the time they get out on the map with an observer, you can have a 3rd base and you can have a decent tank count. So I don't like this. We don't even need the 2nd factory really. We need mines, vultures. Just lay them like a lot here, and then just some scattered in here in case by some miracle Protoss gets to your base. Also some here and some here. And then the reason you put them here is because if the guy goes a shuttle, he'll fly over the mines here and he won't know that he flew over a mine. I think that was an eBay. We don't need the eBay. I would like him to scout the forge to see what it's doing. If it's spinning, this guy's probably gonna do a bust. Like that's probably the purpose of this build. Is this guy gets like 1-1 and then he goes. Check that forge. No. If you're not gonna check the forge with your SCV, you might as well just send it back to your main. Well, in this scenario, since we don't have vision, we should leave it. But normally we would have vision and we should just send the SCV back because it's not doing anything. This is too many turrets. Since the guy has mass zealot right now, it's probably DT more than it is Reaver. We don't need
4 zealots like that?
3 or 4 turrets. You just need 2. Go scout the forge.
So it looks like you're probably just gonna turn into an all-in.
And I think that guy sent a probe out to the right side, so I think he's taking this base. We should probably get an armory around now also. This will set up for our 13:30 or 14-minute max timing with 2-1, which is a pretty good timing when you go 12 gas. You don't need to get armory super early because you won't be maxed.
Somewhere again.
Yeah, so like I said, this guy's just going to be building a ton of gateway units and do a bust. So in this game, the guy didn't actually send any units, but it still would have been nice to have mines out on the map. This is fine, because we know that the guy's going to bust. Well, we don't know exactly, because I thought this guy sent a probe over here. Yeah, so he's actually not busting.
Here's the problem. I don't know how to punish this.
The way you punish it is the same way you punish 12 Nexus, is you get mines on the map. They have to go robotics. They can't go anything else. Unless they go 2-base Arbiter, this is the only thing they can do. And then once you have mines on the map, you can either take a 3rd base fast or you can rush upgrades. Now, since we 12 gassed, it's probably preferable that we take a 3rd base faster over upgrades, because even if we get the upgrades like ASAP, like 5 minutes or 5:30, we're going to have 2-1, but we're not going to have a high enough unit count to actually attack with it. So you get 3rd base faster, and then get your upgrades around 6:30 or 7, and that'll set us up beautifully for 14-minute 2-1 timing. And since it's Longinus, depending on how it goes, we also taking this 3rd base faster will give us more units, which will make it safer for us to take this 4th base, which will give us double gas. So that's what he should have done. Now we're kind of in trouble, to be honest. That's a lot of units. And I don't think we're in siege mode. Oh god. Yeah, well that just happened. What? This guy backed off. Why?
This game's over. Yep.
Sometimes it happens, you move out and you're not paying attention and just lose all your tanks.
Oh well. I just didn't handle that push out at all correctly. I don't know how to like punish that though. Like a quick 2-fact, but then you get overwhelmed by zealots.
Yeah, 2-fact. See, everybody thinks versus Nexus first or something like that, that what you do is build a bunch of units. No. Terran needs critical mass of units. And when I say critical mass of units, I mean specifically tanks. You don't get critical mass of vultures. They deal full damage to shields, but Protosses don't make mass zealot. They make mass goon. Now that game, the guy actually had like a balance of zealot and dragoons, so the guy actually doesn't know what he's doing. But normally there'd be like mass goon, right? So if you attack with tanks and vultures, you're gonna have what, maybe 2 tanks and then like 4 vultures or something. And then you're gonna attack into like 6, 8 goons. If they pick off 1 tank, the push is over. So you don't build mass units versus Nexus first or anything like that. You just give up that, or you just accept that he's going to be ahead slightly in the beginning. You get mines, force a specific tech from him, and try and catch up with a faster third base and better positioning. He has to attack into you now to prevent the third base. So you'll catch up by playing like that. You don't try and 2-fact. It doesn't work versus 12 Nexus. If it does work, it's because the other guy messed up.
Probably should have just gone into drops. No, I don't think I would have been able to crunch out drops with that.
No. Just in general versus Protoss, don't even bother with drops.
So I'm curious about what I was
Once you get better, it's nice to do drops, like 2 tanks. So it's fighting spirit, right? So let's imagine Protoss was here, and they don't have like a complete wall. Well, when I say here, I mean like, let's say this is their 4th base in the game, okay? So they've taken like the Nat, and then you drop tanks on the ramp, and then you run by like 8 vultures and lay like a huge minefield. Now that's a nice drop, because you're going to kill a ton, and on top of it, if you think you're not going to kill a lot, you can just send the dropship back with the tanks, and then there will be a delay for the Dragoons and Zealots to get through all the mines, so you'll be able to, the tanks will be able to survive. You'll definitely lose all your vultures, but you'll be able to save the tanks.
But I don't have the window. I don't have the window to go for like my 5-fact, because it's like my 5-fact hits too late because they had already macroed out of it. Yeah, you're forced to 2-1. But that's like so contrary to what everybody says to do in this game, which is like, everybody's advice in this game is go in with a plan, but if I can't do
don't go in with a plan. You can go in with a plan.
What 5-fact is, it feels like that's countering what my entire point is.
What was that? I missed what he just said.
It's a lot easier to do like 3, well, I don't know about 4 base, but 3 base is a lot easier on this game, on this map. But still, like, that creates a lot of really weird questions, right? So if I'm stuck in a situation where somebody goes for like a really macro-oriented build for Protoss, but I don't have the window. I don't have the window to go for like my 5-fact, because it's like my 5-fact hits too late because they had already macroed out of it. Yeah, you're forced to 2-1. But that's like so contrary to what everybody says to do in this game, which is like, everybody's advice in this game is go in with a plan, but if I can't do any type of like early mid timing, which is what 5-fact is, it feels like that's countering what my entire point is.
Okay, so I don't know who you're talking to, but let's get something straight.
So
Terran timings do not work versus Protoss in the early mid game, and they only work if Protoss is mega greedy. Like, I'm talking mega greedy, like the guy went to 4 base off of like 1 gate. That's it. There's, your life would be a whole lot more sane if you just avoided timings in general. The only timing you need to know is 2-1. You want to hit between 12 and 14 minute 2-1 timing every game. That should be the game plan. Now, in the initial first 2 to 5 minutes, you can have a plan like, okay, I'm going to FD push this game. That's fine. Or I'm going to go 2-fact, or I'm going to go gasless, or whatever. Having a plan up until those points is fine. Maybe not 5 minutes, maybe like the 2 or 3 minute mark. But after you see what they've done, have they gone Nexus first? Have they gone a proxy gate? Have they gone you know, just standard gate expand, it can't be, I'm just going to 5-fact this game regardless. That doesn't work. But in general, don't even bother with pushes. They don't work. Whoever you're talking to that says 5-fact works and stuff, don't even bother. They don't know what they're talking about.
Oh my god, I stopped fucking scouting.
Don't timing attack. There's only few instances you can timing attack. It's more likely that when you do a timing attack, you're probably going to severely underestimate their goon count. And let's say you attack with like 5 tanks and I don't know how many vultures. It doesn't matter how many vultures because
Yeah, I know, but I don't know.
if they have 12 goons or something and they snipe even like 2 tanks, now you have 3 left and that's all your damage.
Well, fuck, man. Like, I want to. Like, that's the entire point of my game. My build is to go for that counter.
Anyways, this looks like a good build. We have good marine count. We have the SCV on the ramp because goons can stop 2 marines. So this is fine.
How the fuck did that happen?
The fact that this guy left his probe outside your base is nice because that means there's no proxy going on.
Oh my god.
Yeah, what Dark Matter said in chat is goons are too strong. That's correct. Goons are way too strong versus tanks in the early game.
Where you go, my friend?
I didn't see if we got siege mode or mines. Probably siege,
Yeah, no,
which
I
is
guess
good.
it's
You should just go siege
great
mode.
that,
It's
like,
okay. We didn't get
everybody's
anything
advice
yet, but get
seems
siege.
to fall apart because Protoss is too strong. What do I do? Well, you just give up. Okay then, Bell.
So, Academy going down now would be good. Okay, and as I say that, he puts it down. So this is a good timing.
Fuck you, Protoss!
Now, when this lands, we can either rush upgrades or we can just go for standard 2-fact. Doesn't matter. If you rush upgrades, then you need to follow it up with 2 more factories, so we have a total of 3. Because if you don't, your unit count's going to be so low, and if they go for some kind of build that just prevents the 3rd base forever, you're never going to get your 3rd base, and by the time you get it, you're just going to be too far behind. So let's see what we go for. Okay, 2-fact, that's fine. So we're looking for something like a 50 or 60 supply starting of the 2nd command center, or 3rd command center, I mean.
Other people chuckle fuck.
We also should probably have an eBay going slightly after the academy, and the reason is because when you scan, if you see DTs, you need to have 1 scan to scan for the DT coming to your base, right? But you're not going to have more scans after that 1 DT dies. Okay, so there's a robotic. So if it had been DT and he had scanned and then he only had 1 left, he'll kill the first DT.
Guess what I can't do?
But then he won't have any more, and he'll definitely need the turret. Okay, so what we can do now is we can take our own 3rd base. Our nat gas seems pretty fast since we're not getting upgrades.
You can't do that build off this thing. I don't know what to do anymore.
Okay, this armory timing is good.
Whoa there,
This
my
type
friend.
of Protoss just sits outside your base. They're so annoying to play versus. So anyways, this build's looking pretty good to me. I don't see anything bad about it, except for maybe the gas timing was a bit fast at the nat.
Oh, what the fuck?
SCVs seem to be constantly building. It's good. I don't think we've gotten supply blocked either, so that's nice. Okay, Reaver.
Hello!
Nice instant +1. So we're looking at a 14-minute 2-1 timing. So that's nice. It's good timing.
Oh, whoops, wait, hold on, wrong one.
Yeah. Okay, so he should probably get Goliath range, because if this guy just sits on top of that ramp with Reaver and Goon, unless the shuttle dies, the Reaver's probably never going to die. This is good. Did we leave one tank to defend? Probably should. Well, okay, I think he did scan before he went up there, so that's good. This is good. See, there's something there waiting. Should start our starport about now, because we're about a minute into +1, so that means we're about 30% done, 35% done.
How the fuck can you not reach that? You're a siege tank! You have infinite range! That's what I pay you for! Oh.
SCV production is good. I don't think we need this turret, but it's not a big deal.
This is all late.
No, this is fine.
Oh my god, can you not fucking be there?
Basically, you just keep building units out of your 2 factories, and then you just add factories when you can afford them. If you can't afford them, you don't cut tanks to build them. Unless you're doing a timing. Well, even then it's questionable if you're doing a timing, because if you're doing a timing, every factory you built could have been a tank. Which is another reason I don't like timings.
There it is! Oh, no, never mind.
That's an observer, so we're fine. Looks like, okay, we are still building SCVs, that's good. Everything here is good. Now, one thing to say is, if you're not going to get vultures like we haven't done, we're just going to have a huge tank and Goliath count, then we have to be very efficient with our units, because right now we don't know if this guy is on 4 base, 5 base. We didn't force him to build, you know, a ton of observers. We didn't force him to put goons all over the map and mess up his macro and stuff like that. So this guy's basically just macroing how we're macroing. He's unpunished. So we need to make sure that we don't waste these tanks on our first attack. So soon we need to push out here, just like lay depots, lay turrets, get some kind of wall. Just, we're going into turtle mode, and then we're trying to take this base safely. What is that? That was a red dot that didn't get shot. Is that a shuttle? That's so annoying. Our +1 should be done now. That's what you want, +2 going. Oh, it's not done.
God, my fucking macro has gotten so much better, though.
Yeah, it's good. Your SCV production is good, but around 10, 11 mark, you don't need to make SCVs anymore.
Fair amounts compared to what I used to be at.
You have way too many at your nat, but it's fine, because you should have just transferred more to the 3rd base. Okay, I think we're just dead. Never mind, this guy has no zealots. What?
Good try, though.
What was that?
You kind of won that battle, not gonna lie.
So that was good for us. This guy doesn't have good macro for Protoss. Right now, since that attack was a huge botch, we should set up here and then take this base if we can take it. We should probably take it while we're attacking. Not take it right now, because we need to build up our units, but right when we're about to move out, or right when we're moving out, go take it. We have way too many SCVs. This is like, there's like 30 at this base. Nah, don't take top right. Take this side. The guy has already taken this base, so even if you take this half, this is going to be mined out by the time you get it. So you might as well take this side. Also, we don't need this dropship. Just avoid dropships until you get better. All it does is basically you're spending 2 supply for a dropship, which could have been a tank. That's all it's doing, basically. Now I have no idea what's going on. I don't think I've ever seen a Goliath drop in a non-island Terran vs Protoss.
Oh, I mean, like, I've at least hit 2-1 at a better timing than I normally do.
This 2-1 timing, it's not bad, but we really want to get it 13, 30, 14 minutes, because once we start reaching the 15-minute mark, Protoss is going to not only have taken a 5th base, but it's going to be like saturated, and he's going to have been banking money for a while, so there will be, you know, like 6-10 gates at this 5th base. So that's really what we're looking for. We're really looking for like 13, 14 minutes, not 15 minutes. Also, if the guy goes Arbiter, if you think, okay, maybe he has 1 or 2 stasis at the 13-minute mark, well, now he's going to have 4 or so stasis. So that's another reason to hit faster. But this guy should get murdered. I'm just looking at his unit count. There's no way this Protoss can win. So now I should be taking this base. I know this fight is happening, but I'm not expecting us to lose this fight.
What are you doing? I told you to move.
It's kind of looking like the anti-timing, like we're just about to hit 2-1, but we don't have it yet. Take this base, take this base. Okay, we murdered this guy.
I never got mines.
Don't even need mines.
A mine, they call it. Oh god.
So the 4th command center we built, that's good.
Oh shit.
It's good that we built it. It's just, it shouldn't be for this base at top right. It should be for bottom left. So we have to be careful with these scans because I think we're running low on them. Like I've seen multiple, like 4 scans in the middle
This is not good.
before this fight happened.
There we go.
I'd like to see vessel. Like we have floating gas. Also, since we're maxed, when you're maxed, you should just add on a couple add-ons to your factory. Just because when a fight happens and you lose inevitably some tanks, you can rebuild your tank line faster. Sure, having the add-ons match the amount of geysers you have is the best, is the most optimal while you're macroing. But once we're maxed and we're not macroing anymore, you want to build that tank count up faster. So these 2 on the end, I would like to see 2 more add-ons. We want to get those tanks out ASAP. So they take 45 seconds to build, and Protoss units do not take 45 seconds to build. So they're going to remax much faster, and we don't want to remax to 200 on Vultures. That's not the unit we need to win the game.
Oh shit.
See, there's just so many SCVs here. Also, I think we've forgotten about getting +3. Sometimes it just happens.
Fuck.
Good thing is we have +2.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so if we, next time we see down here, we'll see how many tanks we actually have. Okay, so there's 4. How many more? 8. So 8's not low, but it's not high, which is why need more add-ons.
Well, the good news is, if they can't actually get, like, anything anywhere else, then they just starve out. So I just need to just keep mass, like... Like, this is the best that they can do.
Well, this is not the best. He could recall. You actually don't want to be sitting somewhere with your whole army versus Protoss because they can just recall. You're never going to have turrets everywhere. Like, imagine he recalls top right. Well, this base is dead, this base is dead. Or if he recalls the left side, we don't even have turrets here either.
Oh, I devoted too much down that way.
So many Protoss units are dying to, like, such a tiny army.
Well, not all my forces.
Necro has been good. Unit placement has been good also, like in this contain.
Jesus Christ, they have so much health.
Your forces are under attack. Not enough energy.
Input coordinates. Alright, bring it on. Go ahead, HQ. I copy that. Orders, sir. Proceed. I'm listening. Buckle up.
How did I end up in another dropship? I think I accidentally just built that as well.
What are you on?
We're taking too long to kill this base. If we thought top right was mining, while we had this contain, we should have sent like 3 or 4 tanks up here to just kill the Nexus. But since there's no way it's mining, it's not a big deal. And if it is mining, there's so little there that it doesn't really matter. If we had gotten closer in here faster instead of being up here, then we could have pushed down here and killed this base. Now that would have been a good move to do, because that base is actually mining. We should just be A-moving this guy, to be honest.
Oh, disconnect? No? They're gonna try and lag us out. I think so. The funny thing is, like, this is like subpar Protoss.
Yeah, this Protoss is not very good. He can't macro.
Game.
I copy that. Input coordinates. Yes, sir.
To be honest, I'm actually kind of confused about how I'm supposed to end this game now.
Your forces are
We just got recalled. Oh, we didn't. Holy shit.
Killing, like,
That Reaver.
your forces are under attack.
Go ahead, HQ.
It has 3 armor.
kill it! No, not all of you. I don't care about that much.
Your forces are under attack.
Dude, you can't do that to a Protoss. You'll just lose. I know, I've tried.
Not enough energy.
Oh.
Is that Reaver still alive? I don't think so. He
Your
died.
forces are under attack.
Oh my god. I can't. Alright? If everybody's like, you can, every time I do that, I lose. Just say move your army, Schamtoo, and then I lose.
Let's go. Okay.
That Protoss probably would have won if they just built. I think about.
Let's skip ahead. Alright,
I
what's
still
this
have no
match
idea
gonna
how to
be?
handle that shit.
Terran versus Terran.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to look up 2-fact builds. That's so funny that, like, I've gotten so much better, but my ladder ranking has just not. Oh yeah, I'm able to...
Oh, there we go.
Alright. I'm able to hit, like, 13-minute blah 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 blah, all these timings, and then all of a sudden, still lose. I'm still at beginner level MMR. Yeah, see? Why are you still up 1.5k?
Well, 1500 isn't even that low, to be honest.
It was
Like, people's skill has, like, skyrocketed
it's like, no, I still lose.
in the past 2 years or whatever because of all these FP VODs from pros. Now 1500 is actually, like not even bad. Alright, where's the next game? Another Terran vs. Terran.
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
Or whenever you play, you are absolutely drunk. I think that's the only ways that people can actually be better than me. I've been playing for like a year. I'm still at beginner level. Year and change that.
No. See,
For a while, I was playing for 2 hours a day, 2 to 3 hours.
your
a day.
skill is way higher than beginner level. If this was
Months.
your skill when I started playing,
It still has changed very.
you would have won every tournament. You probably would have won every tournament up until like 2002
break from that.
or so with this current skill.
Incredibly fragile mental state.
Not enough minerals.
Yeah, which is weird. They put me in A team, and I was like, everybody in A team beats the shit out of me, and they're like, no, yeah, that's fine. And I'm like, no, that means I don't belong in A team. Thanks for the follow there as well.
Additional supply depots required.
Oh, I built that supply depot in the wrongest of places.
Did we lose? I'm just skipping ahead. I'm looking at the command center placement. No, there's no way we lost that or won that fast, did we?
And also, I just don't think I don't like. I think I don't like being coached. I like being given direction, but being coached, I think, is like, I don't know. Anytime people give me advice in this game, it just feels incredibly condescending. And I can't tell if they actually all mean for it to be that way, or if it just ends up being that way, or like, they don't realize that the things that they say are like this, like just...
Well, hopefully this video is not condescending, because I don't
Playing the video game, and you're doing everything wrong. Oh, okay,
think
cool, great, awesome, thanks, coach.
I don't think I was condescending.
Actually, no, I should be fair about this. First off, 90% of my problem with coaching is things that I have dealt with through the Foreign Brood War bullshit. And the other bit, like, Herman was a pretty decent coach, but, I don't know, I just didn't want to deal with it.
Uh-oh, looks like we got double barracks in the middle. We saw it top right and we saw it bottom right. So I guess this is how the game ends. We're either going to win or we're going to lose.
I try so hard to be a nice person all the time. To be honest, it's really stressful to be a nice person.
Or I thought. Yeah, okay, here we go.
Maybe that's a fucked up thing to say.
So this is a good build. Gas into gas. Gas expand Terran vs. Terran. Even though I had told you to do 2-fact, I've been playing more modern builds. Gas expand is very safe. Oh shit, we didn't build any more Marines.
Oh my god, I didn't even fucking...
It looks like it's only an 8 racks though. So that's fine. Okay, so versus an 8 racks, the amount of SCVs we want to pull is 5. So 4
Oh my god.
is it?
Surround
Oh
it.
my gosh, did he surround it? Okay, this is really good. What? That thing's not dying. Okay, so that was
Well, I
wrecked.
really failed at everything here.
Okay, so that was good. This guy, I guess, wasn't really committed to an 8 Rex. I'm confused why he double scouted then. And he's mining gas. Like, his factory seems pretty fast,
May God have mercy on
but
you.
he already has a command center, so I don't know what the hell this build is.
Something on your mind? SCP good to go, sir.
Double starport. Nah, I'll avoid this.
Something on your mind?
One starport is fine, double starport not so good because every time you build a Wraith it's essentially a tank. And versus Terran, SCVs are like have so much health that, you know, unless you're up to 3 or 4 Wraiths where you're actually killing the SCVs pretty fast, if you're just sending one, well, because see, we're gonna build, okay, we built 2. So in this scenario, we're gonna get to 4 Wraiths pretty fast, but if you had to build 1 and then build Cloak, then we're gonna send 1, right? And then he's either going to have an armory started already, and it's almost going to be done, or he's going to insta-start an armory. By the time our second and third one get there,
See,
you know,
the
this
reason why I
one
like
Wraith
safety
probably
is
wouldn't have dealt much
is
damage.
that it's so hard to actually get into an encroaching position where you can build
Not enough
anti-air.
minerals.
Yeah, that is one of the issues with
so-
2-fact.
By just simply going Wraith, you've forced your opponent into an awful position already. Or they forced you. Either one of the two.
No, I don't like Wraith. No, I don't like 2-port Wraith. 1-port Wraith is fine.
Transmit coordinates.
Not enough minerals.
Okay, so this is a scenario where he will take a lot of damage because it's eBay. He just started it. But let's go back to what I just said. If we had 1 port and then we got Cloak on one of them, we would have 1 Wraith. It takes, what, 8 shots to kill 1 SCV? That's just 1. So the amount of SCVs we're actually going to kill is so low. But since we didn't get Cloak, we're actually going to kill a bunch of stuff this time. But when you don't get Cloak, then you're hoping that this guy doesn't have an armory. So it's kind of flippy, to be honest. Also, see, we have no tanks. We have 3 vultures and marine SCVs, and this one tank is just tanking all the shots. So the vultures are useless. But we do have these wraiths, and they're doing work.
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
I think we've sent too many wraiths over here.
Your forces are under attack.
The 4 were fine, but the 2 after that, I think we should have sent to defend. You know, there's the Goliath. Oh, is he mismicroing? Oh my god, what is he doing? Wow, what was that?
Base is under attack.
Also, you should avoid this depot placement because as you can see, you just got blocked. Wow, this is like crazy. No. No! What? Yeah, I think we were dead, but... Yeah, if we had sent those 2 wraiths, the 5th and 6th wraith to defend instead of to the guy's main, would have gone better.
I'm not good for shit.
Terran versus Terran again. Just skip and see what happens in here. Like this is a short game somehow.
I
Where's...
feel like, ideally the trick for microing a Reaver is that you do your shot, you do all that work for like
Looking for a
5
non-Terran versus
seconds.
Terran
That's
game.
all it
Just want
really
to see.
should take. If anything more than 5 seconds, it's way too much. And then you pick up the Reaver and move it into.
Guess we'll just wait and see.
This is something that I learned with my Hellions in StarCraft 2. This is actually where I learned a lot of this from, and I really fuck it up a lot of the times. But when I used to be a lot more comfortable with StarCraft 2, I used to be able to do this a lot better. And so like you'd run in, do damage, and then like shift, like you tell them to attack something, and then you shift click them back so that as soon as they get done doing, say, like a drone roast, they immediately retreat, and that gives you a breath of window of about 4 seconds to get back to your base, do all your macro, and then go back to the fucking thing. That's ideally what you want to do.
Not enough minerals.
SCV good to go, sir.
That said, it's really fucking hard. Like, if you notice, a lot of people will fucking do a lot of like mid-level pros will do that. You'll see their shit just like back up for half a second.
Is required.
Right away, sir. Orders received.
And that's that window that they're looking for.
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
SCV good to go, sir.
Just in case like anybody is like watching and they don't
Not
know
enough
like
minerals. Not
what the
enough
general
minerals.
methodology is
Not
there.
enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
Yeah, hockeys are really fucking hard in Brood War. I don't think anybody really understands that until they start playing Brood War again. Like, hockeys are fucked up.
I read you. I read you. Orders received. Reporting for duty. Orders, Captain. Orders, Captain. Orders, Captain. Finished. Orders received.
Oh my god, I told you to fucking gather. You son of a bitch.
I read you. Roger that. Yes, sir. Reporting for duty.
Yeah, you figure that like hockeys would be like some easy fucking thing. 2018, the year of the hockey, man. Year of the hockey.
Not enough minerals.
Hand it in. You
Your forces
stupid
are under attack.
fucking SUV.
Orders, Captain. Job finished. I read you. Orders received. Orders received.
No, you got hit a couple times.
Right. Nope. Wow, I was way off. Never mind. You spam click. You're supposed to be able to win that fight. I have no idea what the fuck they're doing. Also, fuck! I goddamn pulled SCVs off gas again. Ugh! Vulture expand again! Actually, this is a much better situation to go from Vulture expand into dual port. Because my direct line of where my race would go directly into natural domain, as opposed to going directly how I did before, which was
I'm just gonna skip ahead since we know what build it is.
here.
Alright, let's skip a little farther.
Something on your mind? I did. Job finished. Yeah? What do you want? What do you want? SCV good to go, sir. Let's move. Something on your mind? I did. Job finished. Reporting for
Not
duty.
enough minerals.
Yeah?
Unacceptable landing
I
zone.
dig. Something on your mind? I dig.
I'm not sure if we saw any vultures with that Rax, but if we did, then I don't like that attack. You have to assume that the guy matches your vultures, or he'll build at least one and then get an add-on, and then have a tank where even if you do end up killing the vultures and the marines there, his tank's gonna pop out relatively quick,
Oh shit, they can't get it.
and then your attack is kind of thwarted. So now that you've shown the race, I would probably... I don't know, it's hard to say. Would I kill the racks instantly or would I go to the main? Because if I kill the racks instantly, at least this guy is going to go into panic mode and start spamming factories. If I don't go into the
Oh
main...
my god. Oh my god.
I mean, yeah, if I kill the racks, he's going to go into panic mode. If I don't kill the racks and I go to his base, I'm probably going to kill, you know, a couple SCVs. So I don't know exactly which one I would do. I'd probably kill the racks, to be honest.
I'm so bad at TVT.
I think your Vulture Expand build is fine. Just avoid 2-port. After that, just go 3-fact or 4-fact Vulture tank. Vultures in the beginning for mines. You don't necessarily have to get speed and then, you know, all in them like some people do. Just get mines on the map, get vision, and then go into tanks. That's fine. Or you can go port and get 1-star port with Cloak Wraith, because then that forces them to get Goliath, which they don't want to do. But you need to also keep your tank count pretty high. So you have to be careful.
The top fucking shit that comes up is all fucking StarCraft 2. Or that Liquipedia page that's like 6 different ridiculously out of date builds. So I just fucking dual port every goddamn game?
No. Don't dual port any game.
The dumbest fucking matchup. I have better time with TVP lately than I do with TVT.
I don't know what matchup this is, but I'm gonna assume it's
I have a 39% win rate with TVT.
not Terran vs. Zerg. Yeah, it looks like Terran vs. Terran based on this positioning.
It first needs an entirely new underlying community.
Not enough minerals.
Yo, what up, Rap?
Not enough minerals.
Brudor needs an entirely new underlying community. Which I know they're probably watching and gonna talk shit about this as I say it later, but or they'll probably talk shit about this now. Oh, thanks for the follow there, Blackula man. Aw, dude, you the best. I am so excited for the new fucking logo. Totally put that down. Hello. Hello.
Not enough minerals.
So it looks like we are gonna 2-fact this game. We're actually still mining gas, so I'm gonna skip ahead because I'm pretty sure that's what's happening.
But yeah, that's one of the biggest things, I think. And, you know, whatever. Tutorials are really, really good. We need just more tournaments in general. Like our tournament, the amount of tournaments that we have is very little. I've been trying to host my own tournament.
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
Okay, so since there's no expansion here, we can either let me pause it since I don't know what's about to happen. So since there's no expansion here, I would probably maybe send up a Vulture to check or send up a Marine to check to see if there's a command center on the high ground. And if there isn't, I would back off. If I had mines, but in this case you have siege mode, I know you have siege mode. If I had mines, I'd lay mines and back off, and I'd definitely lay one mine here, because you don't know if this guy's going to fact himself, you don't know if he went Goliath drop, you don't know if he went double starport. If he goes siege mode and Wraith, then he's just going to put a tank here, and let's say you set up a contain here in the natural overlooking this ramp so he can't come down. Well, that's fine in theory, but the thing is if there's tanks overlooking here, if you're rallying in a Goliath here, it's never going to get in here. So if he builds one Wraith, it's just going to kill your units eventually. So that's what I would do. I would back off since he doesn't have an expansion. Okay, here we go. We're checking. Yes, okay, so it's... Wow, so we're actually going to win this because he went Mass Vulture. Oh, no, we're not. Because there's too many Vultures and too many Marines. So yeah, I would have backed off. Yeah, back off. Just back off and expand. The guy has Mass Vulture and you already have tanks. You don't need to do anything. You just basically have to sit here, not run into mines because you're not going to move. And then if he tries to set up a contain, just get a fast academy so you can push out before he has 5 to 6 tanks. This tank goes on the ramp. Yep, that's good. Now, these next 2 units that you should be building, build Goliath. This guy has his barracks in your base. You want to just kill it ASAP. He's going to either be forced, like I said previously, to build a bunch of factories, or he's not going to get any factories, and then he's going to have to build his barracks again, and all his units, all his macros are just going to be super delayed. This 3 fact? What is this? Okay, that's good. There's the Goliath. Go kill that Rex. We should be taking a base at this point. Sure, this guy has mass. Oh shit, we just lost all ours.
Fuck me, I forgot there's all that shit over there.
Forces are under attack.
I read you. Reporting for duty.
Oh goddamn, I just lost
So
everything.
now in this, well, if we hadn't lost all those units, we would have been sitting here, right? Your Goliath would have been shooting that barracks and killing it. So what we can do here is he's, like I said, he's going to build a bunch of factories. You can match the factories, or since it's likely that he's not going to build a bunch of factories instantly, he's probably going to still take a command center. You could get slick and build a starport, and then go for like a Goliath drop, since you already have them. This guy's going to put all his defense here. His Rax is going to be dead. He's going to have no vision here. So I would have backed off. I would have probably built a starport after this scenario had played out. Killed the Rax. Okay, you do have a starport, so that's good. I hope you're going for a Goliath drop.
Spread the fuck out. Because
Or Vulture drop. Since we lost our Goliath, Vulture drop is good. Also,
everything.
don't move out with these few units. You need like 5 units that actually deal good damage. So like 5 Goliaths, 5 tanks, 3 tanks and 3 tanks and 2 Goliaths, stuff like that. No, no, no.
Guess that was a mistake.
I read you. SCV good to go, sir.
Your forces are under attack.
Orders, Captain. Ready to roll out.
Ah. Oh!
No.
Fuck.
Reporting for duty.
I
Insufficient
already have
gas
fucking
supplies.
engineering bay as well.
Your forces are
Great.
under attack.
Oh my god, I lost this game.
Reporting for duty. Affirmative. Roger that. Yes, sir. I can't build that. I'm
Add-on
finished.
complete. Add-on complete.
Yeah, I already did.
Skip ahead. See what the next matchup is. Looks like it's going to be a Terran versus Protoss, so that's nice.
SCV good to go, sir.
Not enough minerals.
But yeah, in that last game with the 2-fact build, since there's no expansion, I think you're just too aggressive with it. If he had an expansion, then yeah, you pressure like what you just did. But since he didn't, just back off. You have tanks. You know, vultures are faster than tanks, so they'll catch up to your tank, but who cares? It's not like your tank's going to die to 4 vultures. And his tank will never catch up to your tank, so it's fine.
Becoming a good one for a while, but then Jayun kind of just stopped streaming.
SCV good to go, sir.
Now we're left with like, I don't know,
Not enough minerals.
who's left? Nyokin, I guess.
Not enough minerals.
We need like everyday personalities. And Artosis is a good everyday personality, but like a lot of people like Artosis just because it's Artosis and not because Artosis is a good Brood War personality. Is that hard to? It's hard to put. Like I love Artosis,
Additional supply depots required.
but
Orders received. Right away, sir.
Not enough minerals.
it's hard to bring up my point without like sounding like an asshole. I mean, I'm already an asshole, I guess. So I might as well take it.
So this
A lot
Rax,
of people watch the like StarCraft 20 events and all those, and I don't think that most people really get a good idea of what Brood War is and that they should love Brood War because of it.
so this
Instead,
Rax
they watch
placement
it
is
because
fine,
They love like Artosis and all that.
but you can put it all the way to the left if you want.
Oh my god, why are you not fucking doing the thing that I told you to do?
In fact, that's what I would do,
Serious right now.
or that is what I do. So the reason is, with this little gap, I think the Zealot could come in, swoop around the Rex and come down. If you put it all the way to the left and put the depot bottom right of the Rex, then it's Zealot tight. And then if the guy did a proxy gate from your command center, at the very top right corner, you can put another depot, and that's also also Zealot type. So now you've cut off all paths for the Zealot, whereas now with this little tiny gap, that's actually a third opening. Also, you don't have to freak out so much about this guy gassing you. What you'll do is you'll just take your nat gas, and then
Are you fucking kidding me?
so what you'll do if you take your nat gas is you pull like 2 SCVs when it's at like 450. So by the time the SCVs get there, it'll be done. And then like when the SCVs are near the ramp, pull 2 more. And then when they get down there, those 3 SCVs will be done mining. And then sure, you're going to be losing some mining time and stuff like that, and your factory will be a little bit slower, but your command center won't be so slow.
God, it's fucking other close position.
Orders received. Commander. SCV good to go, sir. Right away.
But it's fine to also just take your gas instantly. It's not like you're going to lose the game because of that. Also, don't build the 3rd Marine. You only need 2 in the beginning. Then you want to get your factory, and then you can build 3rd Marine if you want. In this game, because our factory was a little late, we were able to get the 3rd Marine.
Not enough minerals.
But anyways, next time we see it. Okay, so I'm going to pause it. So this Rax should be 1 down, so it would be like here. Okay, and then this depot is right here. Now when the depot sits here, it's going to look like there's a gap here, but this is actually Zealot tight. It's also Ling tight. Okay, the top right, this top left corner position, and this top right corner position is Ling and Zealot tight. The bottom left and bottom right are not. I think, well, I'm not going to say I think. So I'm not sure, I'd have to recheck if these are Zealot tight, but this depot here here. Not, you can move this to the left 1. So not directly down, down into the left 1, this down into the left 1 is a zealot tight wall. And because the depot will be here and the racks will be here, you can have Marines fit through here. And then if it's a proxy gate and you're forced to build a depot here, this is also zealot tight. So that's how you should set up your barracks. You can also do the same thing over here at top left of circuit breaker. Anytime you get these two positions, if you're thinking about gasless expanding, these are the best two positions to get for that.
Man, gotta love Protoss. They're able to do the coolest fucking shit, aren't they? Just wait. Just wait. They're gonna be able to just fucking shoot my bunker without me being able to do anything.
Around 440, the Dragoons should start hitting the bunker if he didn't delay range. This is good SCV pull timing.
They're fucking paid nothing to do it too, which is the greatest part. I don't even fucking have my goddamn factory done yet. God, this game is so fucking cool.
This gas is too early.
This totally deserves to be at the exact fucking intro level.
If you were getting an armory, then this gas is fine, but because we're going too fast, we don't need this gas so fast. I would delay it until at least 40, but you can go even longer than that.
Base is under attack.
Also, get siege mode first before the tank, because if you don't, you're just going to have this tank,
Like the fact that this person
but then you're going to have to be microing into 4 goons,
somehow
and if you lose your tank, the game ends.
at the fucking beginning level of a ladder.
Yeah, we'll see, like I said, 1500 isn't even beginner anymore. This is like people that have been playing for a while, and they have FP VODs to be even better. This is what I'm talking about. This. Okay, so now that I see this depot placement, this this allows you to send. Oh wow, this allows you to send the
Don't
tank
worry,
back.
they won't
So,
lose any fucking dragoons.
So since you're microing the tank, I like this wall. But in reality, I think you should get siege mode first, and then just put the tank
Dealing with that fucking
behind this depot from where I said, or put it up here, and then you don't have to worry about microing it so much.
I'm now gonna get like 18 fucking DTs up my goddamn dick.
Yeah, the eBay is kind of
Yeah,
late.
tell me how your race fucking actually takes talent. Mm-hmm. Sure. I believe you. Really.
Not enough minerals.
That's another reason I get siege mode, is because whenever you're doing stuff like this, as you talked about, was it earlier, I think, where you said when you are doing something you don't macro, and when you macro you don't do the little things, right? So when you're microing that unit, your eBay's getting delayed, your academy's getting delayed. Whereas if you just get in siege mode, you just hit the siege mode button, and then you can just go back to what you're doing.
Upgrade complete.
Okay, that was a nice gift. This CC timing is good. Right at the 50-60 supply mark, when you're going too fast, is a good timing to build your CC. And then you should get gas slightly before building that command center, because you see we're floating 500 gas, and we're spending it pretty consistently too. Like, we're constantly building tanks. It's kind of excessive right now. This is good factory timings.
Oh,
Oh, 2 base. I think you should scan this one first.
sorry, did you spend your scans on literally anything other than...
Because if you don't see this, you know it's going to be 2 base arbiter or 2 base carrier.
built already? Well, I guess you'll never know what the Protoss is up to. Oh, Schamtoo. Oh, Schamtoo. How did you think that this was going to be an even match? You're up against the Protoss, motherfucker!
Nah, don't 5-fact into this. If you're going to 5-fact, don't even get upgrades on your armory. Because that upgrade that you just got could have been a tank.
So adorable.
And you're all in anyways. So, well, I take this back because we're on 3 base. So, if it was a 2 base timing, don't even bother with the armory. When you're attacking, build the armory because you might need it. Oh shit.
Oh, cool! 50,000 fucking dragoons! I swear to God, if I lose this fucking command center. Oh, I do. Of course.
Well, Schamtoo, you should have expanded so quickly if you didn't know you could handle it.
Nah, the expansion timing was good, just those 5 tanks out of position. Oh, so we're double expanding. I think you just forgot that you already built one. But it's going to end up being fine because you should be taking a 4th base pretty fast anyways.
Additional supply.
Oh my God. Seriously, how the fuck like, how are these goddamn games that exist at the fucking newbie level? The newbie level!
Not enough energy.
Well, thank you.
You really need to scan his main. No, we don't know if he's going carriers or arbiters.
Additional supply depots
Yeah, I know. I need
required.
fucking additional supply depots. Thank you.
Battle complete. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
Oh, I
Yeah.
have arbiter tech. Awesome.
So since this Nexus was so late, you can expect probably within a minute or so a recall coming. Because I think this was a rush to arbiters. I don't think it was just... is that it right there? I think that's it.
Upgrade complete.
A recall within a minute, most likely 30 seconds. Normally a 2-base arbiter recall would be around 11:30. Shit, is that it right there? That was nice. Heard those mines go off. Yep, see, there it is.
Already a fucking arbiter here. Okay, can you get the fuck out of the way? That'd be great. It's like waiting to fucking recall.
He's probably gonna fly through like this, or like this. Or he's just gonna recall on top of you.
Your forces are under attack.
That was a bit crazy of him. He saw you setting up all your defense.
I didn't start 2-1. Fuck!
It's muted. Okay, well, it's muted for a little bit, so I guess we won't get to hear any of your input. You have good SCV saturation again, just like most of the games you have good SCV saturation, so that's good. Turrets going up, to be honest, they're a little bit late, as you saw the Arbor already recalled us. I think that'll just, you could have known that if we had scanned their base and not their naturals. We also need to put some turrets in this corner, because a lot of times people recall me just going straight over the expansion ledge into the main. And you also need to build turrets, you know, all the way here. Protoss knows that most of the time you'll skimp turrets in this area and mostly build them there, so that it's more likely to fly in this direction and this direction than it is to come in like this or like this. As I say that, he comes in from there and he gets obliterated. So that was good. I'd like to see the eBay or racks floated here, so we have a little bit more vision for when the Arbiter starts coming in. Just get off an extra couple shots. Forces him, if he's going to recall, to recall on the natural, and that's better than getting recalled on your factories. Oh man. Somehow we're maxed, but our army looks tiny. I'm kind of confused. Yeah, I'm interested to see where our actual army was. Like, we had 12 tanks, it looked like. Wow, minus 30. We had 12 tanks to look like, but we really want to push out around like 18 to 20 tanks. Otherwise, 12 is not enough. If you get stasis, even if on just 2 or 3, now you're down to 9. So, yeah, our tank count was kind of low. Maybe we had too many SCVs, but I didn't think we did, to be honest, so I don't know where all our supply was. Or are we watching the replay? Wait, what? We're playing. Did I just rewind? Oh, I did rewind. Alright, but anyways, that's the end of the review. So overall, I think your macro is pretty good. SCV production is really good. You should keep doing that. In Terran vs. Terran, just avoid 2-port Wraith. Your Volt Expand build is fine. Just build more factories instead. Or go gasless. I've been doing gasless ever since I messaged you where I wanted to show real games. With gasless expand, go 16 gas. Go 16 depot, 16 gas. That way you can get tanks out in time for if they do a tank push on you. And then you can either go more factories for vultures if you know that they're going to be going vultures or wraith or something. And then what else? Yeah, mostly Terran versus Terran. I think you should just avoid 2-port. Don't ever go 2-port. 1-port Wraith is good because it gets cloak and it forces them to build an academy and an armory and turrets possibly. And just having cloak is useful, but going 2-port is kind of coin flippy. If they have an armory or an eBay, you have these wraiths that just don't do anything and your tank count is so low that if they attack you, you can't stop them. What else? Sometimes your 2-1 was on time. Around 15 minutes, you really want to try and get it around 13:30, like I've said earlier. That way you don't run into mass stasis and you don't run into people with 5 base with 20 gateways. You want to push before all that kicks in. What else? Oh, in the Longinus game, I remember you were talking about trying to do a timing attack. Just skip all timing attacks versus Protoss. The only timing attack you should do is like a super all-in timing attack, like with the Marine Medic that I do. But even that, don't even bother with that, because once you start doing that build, it only really works versus fast third bases. And even if they get a fast third base, if they get up a Reaver, it's so hard to micro versus Reaver, and most of the time people just open Reaver regardless before they take a third Nexus, so don't even bother with that. Just in general, avoid all timing attacks unless something like insane is happening, where the guy triple, quadruple expands off nothing, or he builds like 1 DT and it does nothing, and then he tries to double expand. That's fine. You can go 4-fact and just punish with tanks and vultures. And then 4-fact, you're not really like hardcore committed, so you can still transition into an expansion if you do that. That's what I would do. And what is this build? I don't know, but this guy's, I don't know what the hell this guy's build is. But anyways, avoid timings versus Protoss. Hit 2-1. Don't 2-port Terran versus Terran. That's all I can think of for now.